Elara's story leaped to life on that fateful morning when she sprinted after the mischievous rabbit. "Come back, you fluffy scoundrel! I'm not giving up that easily," she huffed, her laughter ringing through the dewy forest as she tripped over a particularly enthusiastic vine and tumbled into a pile of fallen leaves. "Well, that was graceful," she muttered, blowing a leaf off her nose and giggling. The Whispering Woods had its usual eerie vibe, but Alara's adventurous spirit soaked up the thrill. The forest seemed to respond to her presence. Trees leaned closer, leaves rustled in playful whispers, and somewhere nearby, a crow cawed indignantly as if scolding her for disturbing its nap. "Sorry, Your Majesty," Elara called with a smirk. Then that voice came. "Elara, do you know who you are?" It resonated, deep and commanding. Alara's grin faltered as goosebumps prickled her arms. She spun around, fists raised in a brave but ridiculous attempt to defend herself. "Okay, mysterious voice, if you're going to ask creepy questions, at least show yourself so I know where to punch." Silence. The orb of light appeared, glowing like a tiny sun. "Oh, you're kidding me," she muttered, eyes wide. "A glowing marshmallow?" But when it spoke, her smile faded. "You are the child of the veil," it said, and before she could process it, the orb tapped her forehead. Warmth flooded through her as if she'd just had her favorite hot chocolate on a cold winter day. Suddenly, she felt the vines around her stir and part like shy dancers, flowers popping up with comical boing sounds, bright and cheerful under her touch. Elara gaped, then threw back her head and laughed, a joyous sound that startled a squirrel who dropped its acorn in shock. "Sorry, little guy," she called, still giggling, as the squirrel chattered angrily and scampered up a tree. It wasn't all giggles, though. The magic coursing through her veins was wild, buzzing with excitement and challenge. When a particularly stubborn rosebush refused to listen, Alara's cheeks flushed red. "Oh, come on! You're just a plant," she growled, stomping her foot. With a sudden rush, the rosebush sprouted more blooms than it knew what to do with, looking both proud and smug. "Well, great, now you're just showing off," she muttered. One day, while practicing with her powers, Taryn, the silver-eyed fox, approached with a jaunty tilt of his head. He sat down, staring at her as if to say, "About time, kid." Elara put her hands on her hips. "If you're here to judge my tree-tickling skills, I've got news for you, Furball." Taryn huffed, something suspiciously like a laugh in fox language, and nudged her knee before trotting off as if inviting her to a game of tag. When the village prepared for the harvest festival, Alara's heart danced with excitement, but the joy was tinged with unease. Whispers of dark creatures sent shivers down her spine. Elder Mirabelle, who always smelled like cinnamon and secrets, appeared at her doorstep one evening with an amulet in her gnarled hands. "Elara, it's time," she said, her eyes serious but twinkling like she was in on a joke no one else could hear. "You've got the magic. Now, go remind those shadows why they should fear the light, and maybe if you can, don't set anything important on fire." Alara's brows knit together, half determined, half smirking. "No promises," she said, slipping the amulet over her head. As she stood on the edge of Windmere that night, stars above and shadows below, Taryn by her side, she whispered, "Let's show them what a kid with a bit of magic and a lot of attitude can do." And into the heart of the forest she walked, laughter, determination, and just a touch of mischief lighting her way. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to subscribe for more magical adventures, heartwarming tales, and journeys filled with laughter, wonder, and excitement. Stay tuned for more stories that spark the imagination.